right, number 17, this time we're just going to use the graph to determine the domain and range. Okay, so we don't really have to write anything. I'm going to go full screen here. We're going to look left and right. So domain is referring to X. So how far to the left does your graph come? So you find the leftmost point, which is here, and that leftmost point is -6. And it goes all the way to the right until we get to an X value of 0. So you're reading the number off the X-axis, where it starts and where it stops. So it goes from -6 to 0. And the fact that we have open circles indicate the endpoints need to be parentheses. So anytime you have open circles, that means those points are not included. You're going to use parentheses. If you have a solid line or closed circles, you will use bracket to indicate those points are included. So that's the difference in the endpoints. For this example, you only have parentheses, so there's no confusion, but sometimes they may intermix them. So -6 to 0, you always go left to right or smallest to largest whenever you are selecting your domain or range. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with our range. Now we want to choose the correct range. So this time you go from bottom to top, lowest point to highest point. So how far down does this graph go in the y direction? Looks like -4, the lowest point. And then how high up does it go in the y direction? Is 0. So you're reading the y-axis, lowest point to highest point. So -4 up to 0. And again, we're going to be using parentheses, -4 to 0. All right, 18, same thing. This time we're going to type our answer in interval notation, so we don't have answer choices to choose from. So leftmost point and rightmost point again, because we want to find the domain first. So how far to the left do we go? Here's the 0. We go -1, -2, and this time we have a solid line. So I'm going to start my answer with a bracket and then -2. So that is the leftmost point. How far to the right do we go? So 6, 7, looks like 8. It's kind of on top of that number. So we're going to go from 2 to 8, and both endpoints will be in brackets because we have solid dots. All right, now we want to find the range. So again, we go from bottom to top. How far down? The lowest point is -6, and then it goes up to a height of, in the y direction, this looks like that's -2, so that would be -1. So lowest point -6, highest point -1. And again, we're going to be using brackets. -6 to -1 in square brackets.